Last week, we sailed from the port of Corinto down the Nicaraguan coast to San Juan del Sur, where we explored the town and tried canning butter.
Capitanía, 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 San Juan del Sur, soy Bolero, Baruna, cambia.
Capitanía, 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 San Juan del Sur, soy Bolero, Baruna. Capitanía, 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 San Juan del Sur.
Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Do you need to take a radio or not? Well, Hillary's heading off there on the water taxi. We don't usually use the water taxi. I don't think we ever have here. But it's been blowing really quite a bit for the last, well, since we've been here really. It's 20, 25 plus knots here in the anchorage. And it seems to settle down a little in the Arvo. But we've been trying to get our international Zarpe to leave to head to Costa Rica. Yesterday, they after we were done with immigration, they had left the office for the Zarpes. They said they'd be here at the boat for us at 7 a.m. We just spoke to the Capitanía finally, and he says they're a bit busy. Can we come to him? So it's very difficult to row in 20-25 knots of wind in the dinghy, and it's about a 3/4 of a kilometre row here, because there's a lot of little pangas and lanchas and moorings around here. So we're actually anchored quite a distance from the port captain's area and where we take the dinghy in. So that's a bit too much to row. It bloody well hurts, and it puts a lot of stress on the oar stands and so on, and we don't want to blow out to sea. So Hillary's going to take the water taxi in, and then we will hopefully get our Zarpe, and we'll be out of here today.
Well, we got a Zarpe. It's the same dude that was there last night that told me the boss wasn't there, so they couldn't do the Zarpe. He was the only one there, and then he did the Zarpe for me.
And he turned the radio off.
And yeah, while he was doing, he turned the radio off, so I think they must do that a lot and then forget to turn it on.
That's why they couldn't hear us all morning.
So a bit of a hassle, but we got the Zarpe, which is what we need.
It's quite a lot of work getting the boat ready this morning, because it's extremely windy, so getting the dinghy back on deck is a challenge when it's blowing 25 something knots at you. And Hillary's getting dishes put away here so nothing hopefully falls over once we start heeling out of here with all this wind. Pretty guaranteed something always falls over no matter how good we have it.
Always seems to be something we forget. We just pulled out of San Juan del Sur, headed south towards Costa Rica with a rainstorm.
So I think it said we'd arrive in about 2 hours 20 minutes. That's if we can keep going dead ahead to this waypoint that we're heading towards today. Only 15-20 miles that we're going to go to. We've got both our fishing lines out, and we're cruising along relatively comfortably. Every now and then we do get those larger 20s gusts in the high 20s there, and that kind of gets us moving and heels us over for a bit.
More rain coming.
Is there?
Yeah, I see dark clouds and rain out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. He bumped his head. No, he fell out of bed, he bumped his head. He get up in the morning. Costa Rica! We're not even there yet! It's really wet! Oh. Delta from the storm. You've heard us talk before about what it is we do and how quickly a day goes by. There's a lot to do on the boat to keep it sailing along. There's a lot of sail changes when the wind's changing around. Today it's about 20 to 25 knots, and it definitely gusts up and down. We're into the 30s here. We're pretty close to shore with a lot of different terrain changes. That ends up being, sometimes we'll be in some dead patches. which means we'll pull the 130 Genoa out to help us get along. And then when it gets a bit too much, like we're on the edge of now, we'll put that away. We've still got our staysail out up front here, which is a lot smaller sail area. And we've got just a double reefed main all day today. That's as far as our main will go before we have to rig. We do have reefing points for a third, but they're not rigged up, ready to go. So we can reduce that mainsail size. That'll stop the heeling of the boats. We'll not heel as much once we reduce this size. We'll get our power out of our head sails, a little bit of heel as well. And then when we need to, we'll just reduce the size of the head sails, which means furling away that Genoa and going with our staysail. We've got about an hour or so off of our anchorage here in the bay. We're right on the border of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, and there's a bunch of rain coming at us again.
Look at this mess.
What happens when you catch a fishy with 30 knots of wind behind you? It's always at the most inopportune times. But Hillary's up here. What do you got there?
Got a fish to fillet, a nice Sierra. Awesome.
Oh,
That is some yummy, yummy fish.
we did not think we were going to have a catch today.
No, but as we were pulling in and the wind was peaking at 30 knots, we got this guy on, which was fun to try and deal with while the boat's tipping over, but
Looking forward for some dinner.
yeah,
They're really tasty fish.
yummy fish.
Now, did you tell us about these guys' teeth?
They have some serious teeth. Guys sliced me while I was trying to haul him up on board and get the hook out and all that fun stuff, but
Give us a look at his teeth.
he has some seriously sharp teeth. Look at that.
Toothers.
Some big tooth.
Okay, don't play with him, he's dead. So strange. Just make him into sushi, please.
Coming right up.
The rain's coming right behind you. Alright, well, it's looking good.
Yeah.
And he's nice to fillet, right?
Really easy, good one to fillet. Tons of meat on him. Look at this giant fillet
Look
over
at
here.
that. That's a beauty right there.
This is the result of Hillary's fine fiddling. That's a nice looking fish. And we're just going to put a lid on that, and it's going to go right in our freezer and get it on ice. I'll chill it.
As the sun went down, we enjoyed a nice evening with a few more rain showers passing over throughout the night and next day. December is usually the start of the dry season here in Central America, and this was about the last rain we are going to see for quite a while. Well, it's still pretty windy out here, but we pulled up anchor this morning. We're just doing a short little sail across the bay here, headed to a place called Santa Elena, which is supposed to be a really nice spot, so we're excited to go check it out. The northernmost part of Costa Rica has several gulfs, bays, and peninsulas with little development or tourism. Despite the constant wind that blows here this time of year, there are several nice anchorages, and we took advantage of the wind to make a speedy sail to the next. And we were lucky enough to have a dolphin escort right into the bay.
Whoa!
Here they come, look
at Little one jumped down. Say hello. Yeah! Look at them over there. They're surfing them. Hello, dolphin. Whoa, look at him in the wave.
that, yeah.
Yeah, wow, surfing it. Whoa! Hillary's first time rowing the new dinghy.
It's been probably should have tried it before now, but you're just such a expert rower.
Expert rower.
This is Bahia Santa Elena, I believe. Beautiful, huge bay. Nothing here other than lots of mountains, birds, trees. Now we're gonna go see if we can see what's on shore before it gets dark here.
Looks slightly mozzie. Well,
On shore, there are mangrove trees lining the water's edge, and then just a few meters up, there were cactus and then forest, filled with all sorts of birds talking and calling.
Attack! It's a completely empty bay. It's very gorgeous. It is one of the times where we really wish we had a motor, which we haven't had in some time. This would be a good place to get out and to be able to explore with a motor, since it is a larger bay. Although rowing right now would be great, because the wind's really died down. We'd like to go over the other side, but if the wind picks up, it'd be heck getting back here.
Bahia Santa Elena is a large, well-protected bay located on the northern side of Santa Rosa Peninsula and National Park. Far from any towns or even paved roads, there were no signs of people, and it truly felt like a remote, untouched jungle paradise. Time for an evening dinghy exploration.
A little row while the wind's
Lightened up slightly, less gusty.
haven't had a big gust in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably less, 10.
Our days here were relaxing and peaceful. We took time to enjoy the sights and listen to all of the loud, interesting jungle bird noises.
Having their evening discussion.
Pretty cool jungle noises around here. There's lots of, I think they might be macaws we've heard, but something in like the parrot family making some crazy noises. Awesome, like dense, beautiful jungle, mangroves. There's even some cactus in here, which is interesting, but really cool, beautiful. The next day, we wanted to do a bit more exploring and see what we could find inland. On shore, we tied the dinghy to a tree and set off wandering. Where are you going?
Not sure. I don't think we're going far because the jungle out there.
While we couldn't walk too far into the forest, we found that the flat, open areas close to shore were a haven for hermit crabs. As we walked, the ground literally crawled with all sorts of little shells moving in every direction.
All different types of shells. Alright. Look at them all. I didn't even know they were there.
We also found large holes burrowed in the ground and evidence of a different kind of much larger crab. Say this is the land of the crabs. Hermit crabs and some big crabs in big holes with big pinchers. Trees.
Lots of wind, lots of jungle noise. This is Bahia Santa Elena, and it's an amazing place. Extremely gorgeous, so well protected. I would say you've got to stop here. There's another bay just kind of to the northeast of here where we've been before too, which is Bahia Salinas, another amazing one. This bay, wow, well, there's no one here right now. It's extremely well protected. You could ride out, I feel like, a multitude of storms in here. The holding so far has been great, and it's really windy today. So we're checking out the jungle. Well, as one might expect, we're just kind of wandering through the jungle, and it is not a welcoming place. Granted, we're in thongs and not much else. These things here, I don't know if you can see the thorns on this. It's like a tree, a real straight tree with just crazy big thorns on them. That with all the bugs, ants. There's a lot of cool birds in here. We're trying to get, but pretty much impossible to get through here, which we expected that.
Time to see if we can row back to the boat in this wind. The wind has really picked up.
Disgusting, probably 30 knots in here.
Very windy. That's all for this time. Thanks so much for watching, and a huge thanks to our patron Adrift crew who make these videos possible. Until next time, adios.
So this is where you go when the head's broken and you need to go to the toilet really bad. You just can hang over the edge here. But seriously, that's how the head got its name. They would hang off the head of the boat where the little mermaid statue or whatever you call that was. And that was the bathroom, the head of the boat. So that's how it got its name. And I think you even got a free wash of your bum in the middle of that. Pretty cool.